The year is 2047. The time doesn't much matter anymore. Not to me. My name is Elias Kane. And if there's one thing the government never managed to take from me, it was my love for the quiet of nature. One last trip, one last time to feel the earth beneath my feet and the rain on my face. This world, this future, it's not what we fought for. It's not what I bled for. We thought we were fighting chaos, fighting the enemies. Turns out the real enemy was the hand that fed us. The hand that ruled the masses with iron and lies. They promised us safety, security. All they delivered was control. They strip away our freedoms, whisper sweet nothings of peace, while they sharpen their knives in the dark. And here I am, driving away from the only life I've known, to a cabin hidden away from their prying eyes. To do what? To reclaim a final piece of myself they haven't tarnished. Yeah, one last act of defiance. At least here, amidst the pines and the forgotten paths, I could find peace. Or at least, something close to it. Closure, one might call it.
Name.
Kane, Elias.
One moment, please.
Damn robots. There's one detail I overlooked in my rush to escape. Robots. The future brimmed with promise of revolutionary technology. Yet here we are. No flying cars above. No miracle cures at our fingertips. Instead, they churned out legions of cold steel automatons to take over the jobs deemed too menial for the mighty human touch. But not all roles relinquished to mindless circuits. Oh no. Some tasks require a human soul, or at least the remnants of one. Killing, for instance, to save the government's face. That's still a flesh and blood affair. They made sure of it. Kept us around just long enough to dirty our hands, maintaining their gleaming facades. For them, for the so-called greater good, I served. And what did it get me? A badge of honor, soaked in blood, lies, and a lifetime membership to a club I never wished to join.
Please proceed forward to your cabin, Mr. Kane.
As I turned off the last bit of paved road, the path twisted deeper into the woods. The air turned chillier and everything else went quiet. Just the gravel crunching under my tires. There it was. The cabin, tucked away like some old secret, surrounded by giant pines and wrapped up in fog. Could be a refuge or a prison, depending on your mood, or maybe just the weather. It seemed just like I remember, or hoped it still would. Worn out, but standing strong. Like it's been waiting just for me. Away from everything else. Just a spot to lay low, and maybe find some peace. A perfect view for what I had in store. There's one thing I forgot to mention. There's a reason I picked this spot. Not just for the view, though the overlook from where it sits is nice. When it's not storming. No, that's not it at all. I've done things in my life I'm not proud of. All in the name of something that no longer represents me. Just turn around and get stabbed in the back. This dystopia future we're living in. All my other SEALs wouldn't be proud of it either. The ones that served with me, all scattered, all gone. I'm the last remaining. The government claims to not know anything about it either. Then there's the one who could afford the advancements. Brought to you by serving the op side of your government. A little gift from the owner of Tesla themselves. High-tech prosthetics merging man with machine to restore limbs, to fix what was once thought unfixable, for those who could pay the price, of course. It's miraculous, really, unless you think about what gets left behind. All those promises of progress, but at what cost? Who pays the price? And here I am, bearing the marks no tech can erase. The emotional scars. Scars not just on the body, but on the soul. Some might call it PTSD. They thought they could patch up everything with their gadgets and gizmos. But some things are too deep to be stitched by cold, unfeeling metal. I'm not anti-tech. I'm against putting metal inside of me to make me forget what they made me do and what price they were asking for. This government, this world, I refuse to live in it anymore. No, tonight will be my last night. I will remember all these horrible things I've done. Tonight, I plan on killing myself. One last message to the powers that be, if you will. What better way than to make sure they don't find me for a mission again? Before anything else, a proper fire. It's been too long since I felt the warmth of a real flame. Chicken Parmesan, my go-to after a long mission. Figured it's fitting for one last meal. Something about the crunch of the breadcrumbs, the tang of the sauce. Feels like a small victory on a plate. I've always loved cooking it. There's a rhyme to it, a simplicity that drowns out the chaos. For tonight, it's not just about filling the void. It's about remembering better times, about the taste of something good, one last time. And here we are, the final touch. Not a drink, but this piece I've kept close to me all these years. It was our ritual back on the team. A way to come down after the heat of operations. Isn't it funny how some habits stick with you? These buds, they've been a companion in the quiet after the storm. Tonight, it helps to soften the edges, blur out the harsher memories just a little. As I sit here, with the fire's glow and the cabin walls echoing back years of solitude, it feels right to end it here, where the memories aren't all tainted, where there's still a trace of who I was before the world went dark. I reached down, grabbing the bag at my side, pulling out a pen and notebook. My name is Elias Kane, and tonight will be my end. I brought my gun the last mission gave me, the 𝒞𝓁 X-47, an advanced version of the Sig Sauer P226, equipped with my biometrics to make sure it's my gun. I've never missed with it. It's equipped with lightweight, high-strength polymer composites, and a smart ammunition system that can adapt projectile types based on tactical needs. Its silent discharge mechanism won't leave a sound. If you're reading this note, it means I'm gone. I don't want any conspiracy about the government doing it. Hell, I wouldn't grant them the win of doing it. No, I'm doing it to leave this dystopia that they've created. There's something you should know. The secret that haunted my final days. It started with whispers, policies not meant for public ears. They intended to import those who didn't conform to the ideal, those who weren't tall enough, lacked dark hair, or were without beards. Those with blue eyes, and even women who didn't meet their specific requirements, all deemed unusable. At first, no one took it seriously, except us on the front line. I remember hearing about their plans on a cold, dreary night during a recon mission. It was madness. I wanted to drop everything and come straight home. But first, we had to stop a viral outbreak that someone threatened to release. A weapon engineered to be ruthless, targeting specific genetic markers. When that mission wrapped with success, they shipped off men, women, the different ones. Not to the moon, but beyond. Mars, some whispered. Others, unknown reaches of space. They were sent to fend for themselves in the harshest conditions imaginable. Why didn't we stop them? We tried, goddammit. I tried. But against the might of AI, autonomous drones, their military juggernauts, there's only so much flesh and blood can do. Even for someone like me, seasoned in taking lives. So here I am, laying down my burdens at last. Not as a soldier, but as a man who once dreamed of a world worth saving. I'm finally putting it all in the open, and in black and white for everyone to read. Who the hell? No one should know I'm here. Who is it? Who's there? I'm armed. Look, if you're...
Routine cabin check, Mr. Kane. Just confirming all is well. The storm is getting bad, and quiet hours is around the corner. Please confirm all is well.
All is well here. Just keeping to myself.
Understood, Mr. Kane. Please ensure your stay remains compliant with park regulations. Contact us if you require assistance.
Understood. I pressed my ear to the door, waiting for the synthetic ranger to leave. Now, back to what I was doing. I thought I told you.
Kane, I know you're in there. Open up.
You can't be serious. I'd know that voice anywhere. I made my way over to the front of the cabin, pulling down the blinds to see a man in a dark trench coat. They found me. Damn it. But how?
I'm giving you 5 seconds, Kane. Then I'm coming in.
My mind raced, my eyes darting down to the gun in my hand. Why did I have to leave the rest of my bullets at home? That's right, because tonight was supposed to be my last night alive. Now I must figure out a way to get rid of this guy. You can't come in without a warrant. The synthetic ranger already did his rounds. I got nothing to say to you, Colonel Creed. I told you I was done. I'm armed, and I will not hesitate to shoot you if you come in here, Colonel. You know as well as anyone else how good a shot I am. Do you really want to take your chances? Stunned by the Colonel's silence, I stepped back away from the window, turning around. That's when it clicked. Shit.
You fell for one of the oldest ploys, Kane. Shame on you.
Stealth camo. How long have you been in here?
Long enough.
Colonel Vincent Creed and I were never friends. Just two soldiers thrown together when the mission called for it. He embraced the government's enhancements like fish to water. Each operation after the merger making him less human and more something else. It was evident after our first mission, post-upgrade. It was like strategizing with a new partner, one who saw a world through a lens filtered by algorithms and cold calculations. And there he stood, 6 feet tall, garbed in a suit that seemed more mechanical than fabric, perfectly fitted to his frame. His suit, sleek and black, shimmered with a hint of metallic under the dim cabin light, clearly equipped with stealth camo. Just another tool in his arsenal of enhancements. His hair, short and neatly combed, was still brown, a reminder of the man he used to be. But his eyes, those brown eyes, that could have been warm once, now scanned the room with a mechanical precision that chilled me. It made me wonder, were those even his real eyes, or another upgrade to better suit their needs? Each time he appeared, it was only because he needed something from me, never to check in. No, our camaraderie was as manufactured as the tech he so eagerly embraced. The man I knew, if I ever really knew him at all, was buried deep beneath layers of government-issued hardware. No, stay where you are. I meant what I said, Colonel. I don't care what you're here for. I will kill you. Just because you decided to merge with them, it doesn't mean I still don't outskill you.
Easy. I just want to talk.
No, I'm done talking. How did you find me? With his hands in the air, Colonel Creed pointed at my gun. My eyes widened in shock. You can't be serious. You bugged my gun? That would mean...
Yes, Kane. The biometrics that goes to your gun that leaked back to your DNA told us why you were here tonight.
That's not the only reason why you're here, though, is it?
I knew you were smart. You're starting to catch on with our visits.
I'm done with your visits. I tossed my gun at the Colonel, but he swatted it aside. I darted at him, punching him in the face. The Colonel grabbed my wrist, twisting it, sweeping my feet from underneath me. Before I could retaliate, a metallic foot came down on my face, feeling the cold, wet steel from his foot. A sickening thud. Darkness consumed me.
Wake up, Kane. We're not done here.
What the... The room spun as I forced my eyes open. Every pulse in my head a hammer strike. There he was, Creed, looming over me. His figure blurred at the edges, like a nightmare refusing to come into focus. The cold metallic taste of blood filled my mouth. A stark reminder of the steel that had just met my face. Why? Why are you doing this?
It's always been about the bigger picture, Kane. You think you're the only one struggling with the weight of what we've done. No, but unlike you, I've accepted the necessary evils for a greater cause.
You call all this necessary? You're a puppet, Creed. A damn machine.
Perhaps, but even machines find purpose. You could have too, had you not been so stubborn. I want you to listen closely.
From what I could see, Colonel Creed reached into his metal suit, grabbing a syringe. My suspicion was confirmed when I felt the needle being jabbed into my leg.
We haven't much time, Kane, so I want you to listen closely.
I told you, I'm done listening to you. Let me go. I struggled against the ropes that Creed had me tied to the chair with.
I told you we don't have much time, but sure.
But what did you do? I can't move.
You wanted freed, so I did that. It was the only way I could calm you down to get you to listen to me. Now will you listen? We don't have much time. A minute now, maybe two tops before you pass out. Kane, you're going back to work.
Colonel Creed started to become nothing more than a blur. To hell with...
All clear. I've got the subject. Let's move on to the extraction phase.
Good. Were there any problem?
Nothing out of the ordinary. Continue with phase 2.
Understood. Continuing on with phase 2 of the extraction.
My head thumping and vision blurred as I came to. A side effect from whatever Colonel injected me with. What the hell? As my vision started to come full circle, I noticed I was in a car. But where? I was no longer in the cabin. They took me again. I unbuckled my seatbelt, rubbing the back of my head, noticing an earpiece. I pressed on it, hearing an all too familiar voice.
Kane, can you hear me?
Disoriented, I pushed the voice to the back of my mind, noticing the fabric against my skin was unusually smooth and fitted far from ordinary. My fingers traced the contours of my high-tech top, the suit's high-tech fibers conforming perfectly to my form.
Kane, I need you to respond now.
You know I'm getting really sick of you, Colonel. I want you to know that. It's also fucked up you kidnapped me against my will. I said I was done.
We're done when I say we're done. Now I need you to listen closely. You didn't listen to me before, so maybe now you will.
I didn't listen to you before because I said I was done, and I meant it. You coming into the cabin and taking me against my will isn't something I planned. I should have killed you myself when I had the chance.
That's part of the reason we took you. You aren't killing yourself. You belong to us, Kane. And you know it.
And what's to say I don't follow your orders anymore, Colonel?
What do you mean?
You heard what I said. Give me one good reason why I should listen to you. I could take the suit off right now and just go back to my cabin.
You can try.
What do you mean I can try? What the hell does that mean?
There's not much time. We need to get you briefed on the mission.
There is no mission. I told you I'm done. What did you mean I could try?
Kane, listen to me closely. You're the only one for this mission, and it needs...
There you go again, not telling me things. I asked what you meant, and you totally did the political runaround. I'm taking the suit off and going back to my cabin. I started to take one sleeve of the suit off as the Colonel chimed in.
God damn it, Kane. Don't. The suit has a bomb in it.
What?
You heard me. The suit has a bomb in it. Yes. It's designed to save you from bullet wounds on this mission. Keep you dry for the most part. But if you take it off, you will die. We built a bomb inside the chest piece at the top of the suit. We knew you wouldn't listen otherwise. The only way to take it off is to finish the mission, and we'll defuse it.
My thoughts raced. Was he lying? My fingerless gloves had touched my chest piece of the suit, trying to see if I could feel a bomb or any other exploding mechanism. Working with him before in the past, the Colonel had been caught in more than one lie. Was he lying this time? Most of the time, his lies would be related to missions. When I would ask for more briefings, he'd just say it's classified, or that's all he could tell me. This time, there was something in his voice. The part that seemed human to me reached out and hit a nerve. Sure, I was going to end it a few hours ago, but that was on my terms. They would win if I took the suit off. They would neutralize me, so to speak. Then tell their synthetic news broadcasters the explosion was done by some crazed lunatic, painting me as a villain in all this. I was left with no other choice but to listen to him.
Kane, are you still there?
I'm here, Colonel.
I'm sorry it's come to this, but you are the only one for these types of missions.
I guess I'm not left with much of a choice, huh?
Sorry again, Kane.
Are you going to give me any intel or not?
Right. Sorry. We'll revert to using your old codename for this operation. Reaver. Exit the car, go to the trunk. There you'll find all the equipment you need. Head to the docks, grab the closest jet ski and board the cargo ship named the Revenant. Your objective is to infiltrate it and locate a shipping container likely placed at the bottom deck, not the one on the top deck sides. Inside you'll find a cube. It's imperative that you do not deviate from these instructions.
I don't see too much that you equipped me with. Looks like the typical high-tech binoculars, a knife, my normal gun, and a grappling hook.
It's important to stay out of sight, Reaver. If you must take casualties, make sure you dispose of them and not make it known you were there. If you have any questions, you know how to reach us.
Noted. Oh, and Colonel.
Yeah.
When all this is said and done, I'm going to meet back up with you in person, and I'm going to kill you.
We'll see about that, Reaver. Stay in touch.
Yeah, we will. I made my way down to the docks. The chill of the night air biting through my gear. The rain was relentless, pounding on the pavement, making it hard to see or to hear anything clearly. I reached into my jacket and pulled out a pair of binoculars. Wiping the raindrops off the lens with a rough swipe of my sleeve, I raised the binoculars to my eyes, squinting to make out shapes through the heavy downpour. It was hard to focus. The rain smeared the light from the docks into blurry halos. I adjusted the focus, my fingers numb from the cold. The time was edging towards midnight, the darkest hour, when even the sea seemed to hold its breath. Minutes ticked by, each second stretching out endlessly. As I started to doubt my timing, a massive silhouette began to emerge from the mist. A behemoth of a ship, slowly making its entrance into the channel. Straining to read the name on the side of the ship, I zoomed in with my binoculars. The Revenant, it read, ominous and foreboding. With the ship finally in sight, I lowered the binoculars, sticking them back in my suit, and making my way down to the nearest jet ski.
Please scan your biometrics.
I rolled up the back of my jacket, scanning the long sleeves of my suit they equipped me with. By now, I was accustomed to the routine. Gear tailored, with all sorts of tech. It's reassuring in a way, to know they've thought of everything, at least for the mission. With the throttle under my grip, I pushed the jet ski to its limits, cutting through the waves that fought against me. The rain lashed at my face, mixing with the salty spray, but my focus was unyielding. The Revenant loomed larger as I approached, a dark sentinel against the night sky. Here goes nothing. I secured the grappling hook firmly on the railing of the Revenant and began my climb. Each pull brought me closer to the unknown. The ship's massive structure casting a foreboding shadow over me. As I hoisted myself over the railing, the sound of my boots hitting the metal deck echoed in the silence of the ship. Stealth was key now. I moved with calculated steps, my eyes scanning the shadowy expanse of the deck. Every creak and groan of the ship sent shivers down my spine, reminding me that I was not just infiltrating the ship, but a vessel. I ran to one of the nearby shipping containers, hiding behind it, grabbing a hold of my earpiece. Business as usual. Colonel Creed, it's Reaver. Do you copy? Odd. I've never had any static interference on any other mission before. Colonel, this is Reaver. Again, do you copy? Okay then. Looks like I'm on my own. I peeked my head around the corner, eyes darting from shadow to shadow. The unusual hum of activity that marks a ship's life was absent. It was eerily quiet. Too quiet. Odd. I should have seen someone by now. With no signs of crew or security, a knot tightened in my stomach. This wasn't right. The silence was a heavy cloak, and under its weight, my senses sharpened. Time to get a better look at what's going on here. Moving with all caution, years of training had instilled in me, I approached the captain's corridor. The door loomed ahead, the entry to what I hoped would be answers. If I could just get to the security footage, maybe I could piece together the puzzle of this ghost ship. Let's see what you're hiding, Revenant. As the door slid open with a hiss, I stepped inside. Every sense alert, the corridor stretched out before me, leading to the bridge. It was time to find the security room, tap into the ship's eyes, and uncover the secrets the silent giant was keeping. Pressing forward inside the hallway, I entered the cabin's quarters. It too was empty. Now something really wasn't right. A small beeping came from beside the steering wheel. The ship is being controlled by AI? I turned around, reaching to the noise. But before I could, my legs got swept out from underneath me, and I landed hard on the ground. I aimed my gun up to see another one pointing down at me.
Drop it.
I put my hands up in the air, still lying on the ground, trying to de-escalate the situation. Easy. I'm not here to hurt you. Are you the captain of this ship?
Give me your gun.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Look at you. You're freaking out. Flat on the cold metal deck. I kept my gun aimed upwards, even as another dug into my forehead. Above me loomed a figure, shrouded in black. Her piercing blue eyes, the only visible part above the mask veiling the lower half of her face. Her stance was imposing, her expression unreadable. Long black hair tied back, cascading over her shoulder, like a dark waterfall. The woman's breathing was heavy, causing her gun to tremble. She was either new at this, or never fired a firearm before.
What year is it?
The year? It's 2047. Why? As I rose, steadying myself, my eyes caught a glimpse of something unusual. A cube dangling from her side. It shimmered faintly, an eerie glow emitting from within its confines.
Shit, it's not right. Not here.
Who are you? And what's going on here? Could start with your name.
They call me Shade. That's all you need to know. And you?
They call me Reaver, and watch where you point that thing. You could easily shoot me. And that thing attached to your belt? What is it? I was told it was in the bottom of the ship.
This isn't just any cube. It's a dimensional anchor, and somehow it's malfunctioning. If we don't fix this, I could be stuck here. Or worse. Reaver. So, you're under codename 2? Who are you working for?
Her words sent a chill down my spine. A dimensional anchor? Was this the cargo I was sent to retrieve? My mission suddenly took on new layers. Listen, Shade, we might be on different paths, but it looks like we're tangled in the same mess. Let's work something out. I need that cube.
No. No. How do I know I can trust you? For all I know, you could be one of them.
Easy. I don't know who you're referring to when you say them, but I assure you, I could help you.
How can I be so sure?
Look, I holstered my gun, putting my hands back in the air. If I'm not one of them, or whatever you claim I am, would I tell you this? My real name is Elias Kane. I'm covert ops, contracted out from today's government. Top-ranking SEAL of my class on multiple missions. This one is no exception. I have a knife in the back of my belt, and this gun is the only one I have. Now, would whoever they are tell you that much about them?
I guess not.
Shade holsters her gun. So, Shade.
It's Scarlet. Scarlet Black. They gave me the name Shade. Much like you, I'm covert ops. But our missions are totally different.
Who are they? You keep saying they. The ones that hired you. And your mask? Are you sick?
No. I just wear this to conceal my identity.
Scarlet took off her mask, slipping it smoothly into her pocket. Her face fully revealed in the dim light of the ship's interior. Her features were striking. Sharp cheekbones, framed by long, raven black hair that cascaded over her shoulders in a sleek wave. Her skin was pale, almost luminescent in the ship's eerie glow, creating a stark contrast with her dark attire. But it was her eyes that caught me off guard the most. Bright blue. Not just striking in color, but deep, almost piercing, as if they could look straight through the steel walls around us into the open sea beyond. There was a softness to her beneath the warrior's gaze, a vulnerability she hid well under the mask. I found myself momentarily taken back by her beauty, which seemed almost out of place in the harsh, unforgiving environment of the ship. It was a fleeting distraction, a rare moment of humanity in the midst of chaos, reminding me that beneath the code name and missions, we were just people. People caught in a situation far bigger than both of us. Maybe you should have left the mask on. You could become a bit of a distraction.
Oh yeah? I'll take that as a compliment. For now. Let's try to keep our focus though, shall we?
It's going to be kind of hard, that's all I'm saying.
Stop. I need your help. I got to get back. And you making me blush is not going to help.
Anyways, what's the plan? So the cube could jump dimensions?
Something like that. This is the 4th time I've been in the captain quarters of this ship. Just a different timeline?
What's your mission anyways?
My mission was originally to secure and extract the cube for study. It's supposed to have the power to access different dimensions. A tool for understanding and maybe even controlling multiversal layers. But every time I've tried to move it, something goes haywire. The cube's not stable. Its dimensional shifts are unpredictable and dangerous.
What the hell? The environment of the ship changed dramatically, almost breathlessly. In the captain's quarters, the once pristine paint on the ceilings and walls began to curl and peel, flaking down like ash in a silent storm. Each piece that fell seemed to dissipate before it ever even touched the ground, hinting at the thinning barriers between realities. The well-kept flooring, polished and solid mere moments ago, now showcased deep, sprawling cracks. These fissures seemed to pulse subtly, as if breathing, each breath threatening to open gateways to unknown dimensions.
That's what I'm talking about. It did it again. We need to act fast before...
Help me.
You heard that too, right?
Yeah, I did. Stay behind me.
No. Kane. Wait.
Creeping down the hallway from the captain's quarters, I took a left. The corridor was lined with heavy doors. leading to the navigation room on one side and the communications room on the other, both vital for controlling the ship's movement and for maintaining contact with the outside world. Just as I was about to choose a direction, I heard the voice again, this time closer.
Help me! Help me!
I started to take the left room that was opened into the hallway, but got grabbed and forced up against the wall by Scarlet. Her face close to mine. She bent down, whispering in my ear.
What are you doing?
I heard someone. Thought they might need help. As she held me against the wall, her proximity was disarming. The faint scent of her, something floral, mixed with a tang of sea air, lingered close. Subtle, yet distinctly present. It was unexpected comfort, a human element amidst the ship's cold metal and shadows. I found myself momentarily distracted, caught up in the sensation of her being so close.
We need to be careful. This ship, it plays tricks. Voices, shadows. They might not be what they seem. I never mentioned to you earlier what they were. I've come across some things that weren't so nice on this ship. Things that weren't human.
So, synthetic AIs.
Not quite. It's hard to explain. But just stay close to me and let me lead, okay?
Noted. I'm not used to working with someone else. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Shit. See what I mean?
Yeah, this could be a problem. This time, the ship's atmosphere stayed the same, but shifted to the left, causing Scarlet to stumble into me. I grabbed her, making sure she didn't fall. You keep making a habit of this. I'm going to start thinking you're falling for me.
Don't flatter yourself, Kane. Plus, we've got bigger problems at the moment.
Scarlet pointed frantically behind me. As I turned, the sight was startling. The corridor we had just left was distorting more violently than before, but her next words chilled me more than the eerie, warping walls.
I think the ship is sinking. We need to check the engine room now.
We dashed towards the engine room. The cube at Scarlet's side was not just pulsing, it was practically screaming with energy, as if protesting the chaos around us.
Look, there.
Damn it! There's a tear in the hull.
Do you think we can find something to patch it up with before the water comes in?
Patch it up? I think the best thing to do is get the hell off this ship.
What? We can't just leave.
I've been doing covert op missions for a while now, and I've never seen anything like this. Scarlet, we need to leave now. And I'm not doing this without you. We need to find the lifeboats. We got what we needed. If the Colonel wants the mission done so bad, he can do it himself. Come on. I grabbed Scarlet by the hand, leaving the engine room, making our way back up the stairs and into the main corridor. When we got to the main floor, we split up to find the lifeboats.
Kane, over here.
I entered the room and reunited with Scarlet. Together, we turned towards the door leading to the main deck. Stepping outside, the storm's intensity greeted us. And there it was, one lifeboat, just big enough for the two of us. Get into the boat quickly. Don't worry, we can launch this together.
How do we do this? Are you sure?
Yes, everything's controlled from inside here. Just help me close the hatch, and I'll take care of the rest. As the lifeboat disengaged from the ship, free-falling into the churning sea below, we held on. The world outside became a blur of spray and noise, a stark contrast to the silence that had filled the ship. We were together and alive in one piece.
You know, signing up for this, I didn't ask for any of this. You mentioned you've been on a lot of covert missions before this one, and you've not seen as many as fucked up as this.
Yeah, well, kind of. The timeline I'm in has a lot of kinks to work out, but nothing like this, where reality is literally eating itself. It's unprecedented.
I was supposed to just gather data, not get trapped in a nightmare where I can't tell up from down. It feels like every time I think I understand what's happening, the ground shifts again. And now, I don't even know if home is still home. Have you ever killed anyone on these missions?
I have. And before tonight, I was going to kill myself.
What?
It's not something I'd like to admit, but the reality I'm from. I've done a lot of messed up shit, Scarlet. To be honest, if you would have shot me in the head back in the ship, I honestly wouldn't have cared.
Is your reality really that bad?
It's not good.
What about your family? What would they have thought?
I've been dead to them for a while now. The government took care of that when they hired me to do this. I don't have a wife or a girlfriend. Dead men can't love. To the government, I'm nothing more than a pawn to them. A pawn that stops things going bad. I still check in on Mom from time to time. From the shadows, she's getting old. Not sure how much longer she'll be around. My grandparents are barely still around. They don't have much of a mind anymore. I did have a dog a while back. Protected him with my life, but cancer got him.
Oh my God. Elias, I'm so sorry you've had to carry all that alone. For what it's worth, you're not just some machine for the government. You're a human being with feelings, and you deserve better than this. You deserve to be seen for who you really are, not just what you can do. My reality, it's been no fairy tale either. I was recruited young, too young, maybe. I was forced into situations I didn't fully understand, made to do things, terrible things, things no younger girl should ever have to endure. They told me if I told anyone in my family, I'd be killed. I kept my mouth shut about it. Almost opened up one time to my dad about it, but I'm pretty sure they killed him. They promised me a chance to make a difference, to protect what matters. But all I've seen, it's manipulation, control, using us as tools without caring about the toll it takes. I'm tired of going through this. I'm tired of their lies and deceit. If I ever get back to their reality, well, maybe it's best I don't talk about it.
I moved over to her, wrapping my arms around her. In response, she offered a small, tentative smile, one that held a mixture of sadness and relief. Gently, she laid her head on my shoulder, sinking into the warmth of the embrace. It was a welcome comfort for both of us, a quiet acknowledgement of our shared pain, and the solace we found in each other's presence. In that moment, the turmoil around us seemed to fade slightly, replaced by a sense of connection that neither of us had expected to find in such desolation. The sound of the waves hitting the lifeboat stopped, and we found ourselves back on the ship. You can't be serious. I opened up the hatch of the lifeboat, exiting back in what appeared to be the bottom of the ship, where we were last time. This time it wasn't filled with water, and there were no breaks in the hull. This one looks promising, but I don't trust it.
We need to secure this cube. It could rip a hole in all of these timelines if we aren't quick.
How do we do that?
Didn't you say in your reality, your mission was to take this thing back? What do you think your government would do with it?
Probably stash it away from the public or something. When I'm done here, I don't ever want to see that thing again.
You really think we can get back?
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm also hoping in this reality, there's something to secure the cube with. Where'd you find that thing anyways?
Down here, in a shipping container like your intel said.
Let's move. Find out if there's one of those things in this reality. Replace the cube where you found it. Then we get the hell off this ship and blow it up. Let it sink to the bottom of the sea.
Let's hope that works.
With our guns ready, we crept deeper in the ship's dark belly. Emergency lights flickered weakly, barely pushing back the shadows that seemed to crowd all around us. Every step echoed, bouncing off the cold metal walls. The deeper we went, the more we heard it. The sound of chains rattling. At first distant and soft, then louder and more urgent. What the hell is that?
Just keep moving.
As we rounded the corner, the source of the noise hit us. It was the container we were hoping to find. No, this was something out of a nightmare. Inside of the cell, with some of its 8 legs hanging out between the gaps, was an all-black alien creature. Its body resembled that of an octopus, but with a terrifying twist. Each arm was lined with what looked like sharp, gleaming hooks, and its eyes, those piercing green eyes, glowing ominously in the dark.
What do you think they were doing on the ship? What is that thing?
Let's not find out. Let's keep looking for that container. Quietly, we snuck around the creature until I heard a wet, slithering noise, and Scarlet yelled.
Shit, Kane! It's got me!
I turned around to see Scarlet suspended up in the air by her legs, the thing's mouth agape, exposing its sharp creature teeth. Shit! Hang on! I aimed cautiously, making sure I didn't hit Scarlet. Shooting multiple rounds into the creature, the thing wailed. I wasn't sure if I was killing it or pissing it off, but its arms flailed more frantically. Scarlet decided to fight back, grabbing a knife from her side, stabbing the thing in the arm repeatedly. Die, you son of a bitch! Blood, and lots of it. The thing's blood started to fill the cage it was in, and started to get all over Scarlet. But she was fearless, and kept hacking away. The creature had enough, flinging Scarlet through the air. She landed against the side of the ship's walls, sliding down. Scarlet! I took off running to check on her. The creature continued to flail behind me. Hey, are you okay? I slid my hand under her head, which was slick with blood. It was hard to tell whose it was, hers or the creature's. Gently pressing the side of her neck, I felt for a pulse. It was there, but weak. Just then, the cube on her belt began to pulse again. A wave of anger surged through me. I grabbed the cube off her belt, yanking it off her buckle. No, not this time. You want something to eat so bad? Here, eat this! I tossed the cube at the creature and waited for a loud, and firing my gun at the cube multiple times, until a small explosion occurred. Reality shifted again. The creature in its cage was gone, and the bottom of the ship filled with shipping containers. My eyes started to blur a little bit. I shook my head to get a grasp back on reality. The small hum of the ship's engine seemed soothing to me. Was this my reality? I looked onwards, noticing 4 shipping containers. I was almost certain one of them had the cube in it. No, not this time. I made my way over to Scarlet, who was still leaning against the wall, unconscious and covered in the creature's blood. I carefully bent down, sliding one arm behind her knees and the other supporting her back, lifting her gently in a threshold carry. Her head rested limply against my shoulder, her body weight supported by my arms as I carried her, up top to the main deck of the ship, to the lifeboats once again.
Reaver. Last attempt before we consider this mission. Failure.
I opened the hatch to the lifeboat, gently laying Scarlet down inside and yanking the earpiece out of my ear, throwing it on the ground and stomping on it. Scarlet was right. I wasn't a machine for them or anyone else. I'm a living, breathing human, and it's time I take control of my life. No more missions, no more lying. It's time I right my mistakes. I got into the lifeboat with Scarlet, hitting the eject button and taking off down the channel to the docks. Dropping anchor and securing the boat, I got out, unholstering my gun and tossing it into the channel. The Colonel mentioned before they could track me through my gun. It's hard to say what all they could do with the new technology nowadays. Now maybe they'll think I died in the sea. I got back into the boat, grabbing Scarlet, gently lifting her, carrying her to the car left for me on the dock. Everything seemed to check out. This was my reality, or so it appeared. I opened up the car door, sitting Scarlet inside the car and fastening her seatbelt, making my way over to the driver's seat and taking her to the closest hospital. The roads were quiet, almost eerily so, as if the city was holding its breath. Even if the Colonel could trace the car, at this point, I didn't care. Scarlet's safety was my main concern. I pulled into the hospital parking lot, finding a spot right by the entrance. It was nighttime, but overcast. The clouds were dark and heavy, threatening to rain, but holding back for the moment. Almost there, Scarlet. Soon you'll be safe. I promise. I scooped her up from the passenger side seat, cradling her carefully. Just as I began to carry her towards the hospital entrance, the first drops of rain started to fall. Light at first, then quickly turning into a downpour, as if the sky had been waiting for us.
Elias, what's happening? Where are we?
We're at the hospital, in my timeline. You're safe now, Scarlet. We made it out.
The ship? The creature? Was it all real?
It was all too real, but it's over now. We're here to get you checked out. You're going to be okay.
Elias,
At that moment, her lips met mine with an urgency that drowned out the chaos of the world. Soft and warm, they were the only things that mattered. The rain had washed away the remnants of the creature's blood that had stained her, clearing the way for the new closeness between us. I forgot about everything else, about the Colonel who had tried to reach me, about the dangers we had just escaped. Nothing existed beyond the feel of her body pressing against mine. I gently sat her down, pulling her closer. Well then, I didn't expect that.
Neither did I, but it just felt right.
So you're not mad that you're stuck in my reality?
Not at all. I couldn't imagine being stuck with anyone else.
She leaned in for another kiss, and I embraced it for a few moments. But as the intensity of our kiss faded, the world around us started to seep back in. The distant sound of rain, the muffled footsteps of people walking in and out of the hospital in the rain. I held onto her for a moment longer, not ready to break this newfound connection, until she finally pulled her lips away from mine. You need to get checked out. Make sure everything's okay. Meet me at the park bench just outside here, all right? Here, use my phone. I've put the location in it. There's one last thing I need to do, but I promise I'll be back.
Be careful.
Always. I'll see you soon.
What a day.
What a day, indeed.
Kane! How are you alive?
I'm way more alive than you'll be in a few minutes. That's something you can't say for yourself, Colonel.
You won't get away with this. They'll find you.
Who? The White House? Or the Pentagon? Yeah, no. I've already taken care of that. And I'm right on cue. Sorry, Colonel, but this is one mission you aren't coming back from.
there you are. Did you hear about the attacks on the White House and Pentagon?
I did. It's going to be okay, Scarlet. It's time for a change. Tell me fought for something better. Maybe we could find a reality, or start one for ourselves that's not as messed up. Just you and me, if you're okay with that.
Kane, how did you... Never mind. I'd like that a lot. I remember what you said about this reality. I trust you. Let's do that.
Let's go.